everyone, I'm Florian Puhani and this is my favorite kind of video, responding to your requests. This time I can even tackle two of them at once, because a few weeks ago James Stramer asked me how he could train legs without a rack. Now I could have just linked all my previous work on that subject. Goblet squats with a ring bell, hack squats with a sling bell, and hip hinges with an upside down double sling bell as a sled. But since he explicitly listed the equipment he had at his disposal, I came up with a more custom-made solution. This short reel I posted about it is pretty intuitive. However, as you can see, I still promised a regular video because I knew from experimenting that suspending a barbell on straps from gymnastics rings can be a bit tricky in certain aspects. So I kept the suspended barbell video on my to-do list and remembered it immediately when this request by a viewer named Chance reached me. Okay, a barbell on some pad across both knees sounded reasonable enough to begin with, but I could imagine of a better way to get into that position. So in a couple of minutes I'm going to show you how to do that much more conveniently. But first, here's a quick fix for all of you who unfortunately have no place to hang gymnastics rings from. It's the good old twin bell from my last weighted push-ups video. Here you see it loaded with 40 kilograms or 88 pounds. A round sling is internally cushioned anyway. Plus it distributes the weight really smoothly across the top of your knee, so you won't need an extra pad. And now for the creative barbell hack. Let's start with the part that's interesting for everyone, no matter if you want to do seated calf raises or maybe bench presses or squats or whatever other barbell exercise. You take a pair of straps from gymnastics rings and sling them around the barbell like I'm showing you here. Make sure to fix them far outside the gripping span, just inside the plates. This will provide maximum stability and keep the bar from unnecessary swaying, especially during the plate loading process later. Make sure the short end of the strap is long enough to keep the buckle from hitting the bar when you tie it down. How long exactly that is also depends on the height of the fixture you want to hang the barbell from. On the other hand, the short end of the strap mustn't be so long that the buckle ends up at a height you can't comfortably reach with one hand while you're lifting the bar with the other hand. Because you have to do both in order to adjust the height of the hanging barbell. The buckle and the bar being too far apart could even mean unnecessary stress for your lower back. If you have to perform a windmill in order to tie the strap down, the buckle is definitely too high. But even if you have chosen a favorable length for the short end of the strap, it is still advisable to find approximately the right height for the bar with little or no weight on it. And that's all you need to know in order to train all your favorite exercises with a suspended barbell. You always have to start dead from the bottom position though. That's the only drawback compared to using a rack. But since a dead start can also mean a new training stimulus, you might as well embrace it. And now let me show you how to do seated calf raises in that manner. Hang the bar slightly above and in front of where your knees will be once you will be seated. Make sure there is also enough space for your pad if you're going to use one. Experiment with lower weights on the bar to find its ideal height and distance from your seat. Suspend the barbell completely horizontally. To this end, use a bubble level if you have one. This could save you time. In my experience, the exercise isn't half as effective without a decent pre-stretch in the bottom position, so you best find a suitable object to put under your forefoot. Now sit down and put both of your forefeet on that footrest. As you can see, I'm using neck pads on the barbell itself. But if you prefer some other type of pad, now would be the time to put it onto your knees. Pull the barbell towards you. Keep it over your knees with one hand. With the other hand, open the buckle on one side. Release the strap and let the barbell down onto your knee on that side. Make sure the strap is completely slack. Close the buckle again. Change hands and repeat on the other side. Congratulations! You have gently loaded the whole weight of the barbell onto your knees. Secure it with both hands while you are performing the exercise. The footrest and/or your seat should be mobile enough to push it away after your last rep. Otherwise, bailing from under the barbell could become really difficult or even painful. As you can see, a coated wooden floor works fine in this regard. On the other hand, it can also make it harder to keep the footrest in place during the execution of the exercise. However, that problem will only occur if you are wearing shoes with stiff soles. This is why you see me perform the seated calf raises barefoot. After your set, make sure to restore the initial height of the barbell and the positions of your seat and footrest for your next set. The last pointer I can give you is about the height of your seat. In my experience, it is somewhat easier to prevent the barbell from rolling into your lap than rolling away from you. But of course, the barbell not rolling at all would be ideal. So try to find a seat on which you can keep your thighs around parallel to the floor during the whole movement. That means your knees should be slightly lower than your hips in the bottom and slightly higher than your hips in the top position. I was lucky. The flat bench with two 10 by 10 cm wood blocks on it provided exactly the right height for me. Now, since you have watched this video so far, you have already supported my channel significantly. So I think I can spare you the usual like, subscribe and share litany. Thank you James Stramer and Chance for your interesting and yielding requests. And all of you, please don't hesitate to refill my to-do list. I'm looking forward to your inspiring comments. My name is Florian, and I will continue to make an effort so that you don't get bored with your training.